look familiar? Seem familiar? Does it feel familiar? You've been here before, and you know that you've been here before, and you're at a bit of a crossroads. I'd like to help you at that crossroads. So for the entire month of November, as part of my Black Friday specials, you can schedule a 1-hour consultation with me for only $111 using the discount code YT at the link above. So with this particular new moon cycle, you're likely finding a familiar pattern, maybe even a familiar place, familiar people returning to your life. And you're taking a look at this and you're going, hey, you know what? I think I've been here before. And fact of the matter is, guess what? It's not rocket science. You have been here before, right? You've been at this emotional crossroads or this mental crossroads or even this physical crossroads before, and it's presenting itself to you again. Now, the thing is, in our minds, because of things that we perhaps digest in the media, sometimes even in spiritual media, we get this idea that if we're in a situation that's familiar, we're always meant to do something radically different. And you know what? Life just doesn't work that way. There's no one-size-fits-all approach to spirituality. There's no one-size-fits-all approach to life. For each individual, it's very radically different. So it becomes a matter of, with this particular new moon and Vishaka energy, of deciding whether you want to double down or whether you want to try to do something radically different. And we're going to talk to you a little bit about that today. It's good to understand Vishaka Nakshatra. For those of you who don't even know what a nakshatra is, nakshatras are also known as lunar mansions. They're a way of dividing the heavens into 27 equal portions based on the fixed stars of 13 degrees and 20 minutes each. And each nakshatra has a specific energy tone with many different characteristics associated with it. One of the things I want to talk about in relation to Vishaka for you today is the fact that Vishaka has Kapha energy. Kapha energy is very dense. It's very earth-oriented. Sometimes it holds its ground. But the process of Vishaka is to hold your ground while a process of purification is taking place. And then once that purification has happened, it's a matter of stepping across the threshold into a new phase of existence. Okay. The only thing is with this particular new moon energy, due to the position of Jupiter, which is connected to Vishaka, you're likely in a position where you're vacillating. You don't know whether you should take a step forward or whether you should just hold your ground and double down on the approach that you've been taking. The animal, because each nakshatra has an animal connected to it, the animal connected to Vishaka is a tiger. So how does a tiger behave when it's cornered? Because the animal connected to a nakshatra shows how we respond when we're under stress. And so with this particular new moon cycle, Vishaka is connected to a tiger. Vishaka is always connected to a tiger. But with this particular new moon cycle, you're likely to feel, well, I don't know what to do. So I'm feeling cornered and I'm feeling like I have to make a decision and there's a lot of pressure. So you may feel a little bit ferocious. You may feel prone to lashing out, to taking certain action, when, perhaps it's good to take the wise approach to the situation. Because just because something seems familiar to you, it doesn't mean that you're dealing with the exact same situation. And that's the illusion that we fall prone to when we return to a familiar cycle. Especially if that cycle represents a certain degree of trauma to us, if we've been through trauma in relation to those circumstances, or if we dealt with a situation that we, didn't like before, right? We find ourselves in a pattern where we're going, okay, here we go again. It's the exact same thing. Guess what? Nothing is ever the exact same thing, even if things play out in pretty much the same manner. Why? Because you're different, because you've grown, because you've changed. And so with this particular energy, you're being asked to do something radically different, but that radically different thing may not be precisely what you think it is. And that's what we want to get down to discussing today. So at the time of this new moon, we've got the sun, we've got the moon, and we've got Mars all in Vishaka. Now, Mars in Vishaka is creating this energy that feels like now is the time for action, and action must be now, but I don't really know what to do, right? And so that makes it a little bit challenging. Interacting with these three planets are Saturn in Shatabisha. Shatabisha quite often presents a healing crisis to us that appears to be one way, but upon confronting and allowing it to clarify or unravel, we begin to see things from a different perspective. Jupiter is in Bharani. Bharani is about letting go of the patterns of the past and moving forward in a new way. Now, because of Jupiter's position, we may find ourselves in a space where there's a missing piece of the puzzle that we're not really ready to integrate. Now, both Saturn and Jupiter, or I should say both Saturn in Shatabisha and Jupiter in Bharani, both of those nakshatras, the place connected to them is a street. So it means there's a direction that needs to be taken. There's a direction that needs to be taken. In your mind, you're looking at perhaps a few different approaches. You're going, okay, I'm not really sure what to do, so I just need to hold pat with what I know to be right and true. That's one particular type of option. The other type of option is, here's a radically new way, and you know what, I've never done this, and I keep having the chance to do this or the choice to do this, but to be quite fair, I'm still not really sure, but you know what, I could just throw caution to the wind and go, to heck with it, here's the way that I'm going to go. And we'll just accept the fallout, let the pieces fall where they may, even if those pieces falling where they may not be where you want them to be and may be much more of a destructive solution than you would like. And knowing both of those particular concepts is what has you feeling stuck or perhaps a little bit frozen. But there is another radically different way to approach this, and it involves an internal process. And that internal process is, you're here in this particular moment in time. It's familiar to you. It seems the same. It's bringing up a lot of those same patterns. The radically different thing that you can do is not this radical action necessarily, nor to double down on your efforts, but instead, it might just be to let go and to trust, even though you don't feel like you can trust enough to let go of the pain that you perhaps suffered before due to the circumstances that are representing themselves. You don't feel you can let go of that memory. You don't feel you can let it move. But we get presented with these opportunities to heal so that we can do just that, which is to heal and to let it go. It's not that you're going to find something repeat itself. It's not that a scary situation from the past is necessarily going to happen. And if it does, you're strong enough to handle it. That's another thing that this particular new moon cycle shows due to the solar lunar yoga, which is in Shobhana yoga, which means, which relates on a certain level to bringing you the degree of confidence that you need, which comes from lack of a better way to put it, a divine recognition. But mixed with that, you may have to summon that confidence. And sometimes we get presented with these opportunities to be strong. And so the strength doesn't mean you need to lash out and go in some radically different direction. It also doesn't mean you need to be stubborn as a mule. It means you need to let go inside of yourself. And whatever it is you might be needing to let go of with this particular new moon cycle, I'm always happy to help. As I mentioned, as part of my Black Friday specials, if I can say that, all the way through till the end of November. If you schedule a 1-hour consultation with me using the discount code YT at the link above, you pay only $111. That's going to do it for this look at the new moon in Vishaka Nakshatra, taking place on the 13th of November, 2023. Until next time, please do take the very best care of yourself. Bye now.